Howdy, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Alicia Lewis is here. Marge, Chantel, Harjot, Leo Chung. Who else is here? Let me get my chat out of top mode here. Throw that into all messages. Vivian Johnson is here. Daniel Barry Sports. Sebastian. Chowdhury, Jeffrey. Formidable Business. I like to walk, and everyone else. Welcome to Don Mills and Eglinton, right alongside the former Don Valley, or rather Science Center station. It's Tuesday, no it's not, it's Monday, March 1st, 4:55 p.m. is the time. The temperature -4 or -5 degrees Celsius. Hey, Jeanette is here. Haley Toronto is here. Transit Mobile Scooter. Bungee Skunk, thank you for tuning in. That's the side over there where, whoa, that is jittering like crazy, where the Ontario line is going in. Maybe I gotta turn off some of the camera stabilization here. One sec. Camera fixed horizon. I think that'll do it. No, that did not seem to fix it. What if I do wide angle and zoom a little bit? I don't know if my iPhone is on the fritz. Doesn't seem to be working properly out of the rear view, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are in East York. I'm going to be going south alongside the former Science Center. We'll see how things are going along there. Hopefully it's not being torn down, and then we'll cut through Thorncliffe Park and I'll wander south down towards Greektown. Hey, Flick Hunter is here. All right, the camera seems to have calmed down a little bit. I might have replaced the wrong phone. I live stream with an iPhone 15 Pro, and my regular phone is an S24 Ultra, but earlier today I placed an order for an S26 Ultra. But maybe it's the iPhone that is acting up. Does it look smooth to you guys, or do you see any jittering or anything like that? Smiles says, watching from Scotland. Greetings, Smiles. As we go south down Don Mills. Mark Foley is here. So what Dougie wanted to do was, because he got his hands caught in the cookie jar, with the Greenbelt scandal, and a bunch of his friends bought land up there, which he couldn't turn into McMansions nobody wants or needed. His master plan was to take this prime Science Center land and hand it over to some of his developer buddies as like a sorry for that grift gone wrong. But now the condo market is kind of in the dumps. There's very little demand to be building something here. In an ideal world, they would trash the $1.6 billion plan at Ontario Place and just put a few $1,000,000 into fixing this place up. There's nothing wrong with it that a little bit of cash won't fix. The whole thing was just one of his blatant corrupt grifts. If you're from this province, you're well used to that by now with that guy. Am I going to the Overly Costco? We're going to be walking past the former Coca-Cola plant I just made a video that brought me out this way, and I thought, oh, that car is dragging its front end under the street with it. There's the former and hopefully future Science Center on the right. The Flemington Park neighborhood on the left. I've done a few videos walking through there. You'll see the 925 Don Mills bus, the 25 Don Mills bus, and the 72 Pape bus coming up this way. Greetings, Howard Charco. Hey, Transit Mobile Scooter, Darren. It was good to see you the other day. Thank you for the super sticker, Darren. Thank you for the $2. Mr. Digital Man, that is very true. Thank you again. And to everyone who tuned in to last night's Stumble stream, thank you. Sorry it ended when my mirrorless camera that I use as a webcam ran out of battery. I normally plug it in, but I forgot to. And I realized the USB-C charger I used was still in my travel luggage, and I was like, let's just end the stream. So thank you guys who tuned in. Sorry it ended a bit prematurely. Johnny, do you watch NBA or NHL? Not really. I used to watch a whole lot of NBA. This is St. Denis Drive. You used to be able to get a nice, good look into the Science Center right here. And this is where I met a very enthusiastic viewer. His name was Jack. He was checking it out right after they closed it. Oh, all this construction here is for the Ontario line. That will terminate just north of here where I started this at Don Valley Station. So Don Valley is about to be a pretty, or not about to, but will eventually be a pretty major transit interchange, serving as the northern terminus of the Ontario line and a stop on line 5. Too bad there's no more Science Center to bring people to. And it will be going through the historically underserved Flemington Park and Thorncliffe Park neighborhoods. I've seen new transit construction. It can be quite disruptive and quite the eyesore, but on this stretch of Don Mills, it's really not getting in anyone's way. Do you have videos of Eglinton Station this week or the next few months? Four Corners? I don't understand what exactly you're asking. I definitely have videos of Eglinton Station up that I've done in the past. I might get around to doing a new one, I'm not sure. There's a plaza across the street. Don Mills Road itself isn't very walkable from a pedestrian point of view the further we go south of here. Marcy says, good to see chat is working. Yeah, that seems to have been resolved, thankfully. I've only ever streamed this stretch once or twice before. This isn't one of the more common routes. There's a big plaza with the McDonald's. And there's where we are heading, that tower over there. Towards there. That street used to dive. Oh, look at that view of Yonge and Eglinton. Well, that street does dive down into the Don Valley. Not a bad view, eh? Greetings, Lisa. It's got its own little skyline going on. The sidewalk is a little bit slippery. There's some ice caked into this. I don't think that's why they shut down the Science Center at all, Chowdhury. I mean, the station was even named Science Center Station. It was shut down because somebody wanted to sell that land to his friends after screwing them over with the Greenbelt. Greetings, math doctors. Four more hours of work to go. I've got about an hour and a half left of my job left. If you can even call it that. I'm going to make a right. We're going to head over the Don Valley. And cut right through Thorncliffe Park. How long would it take for me to walk home from here? Hour and 45 maybe? Certainly doable. Kind of digging that view as well. If you tune into these streams for people watching, this will probably not be your favorite stream. My battery charged up. Well, I got my battery bank with me, so I can always plug in. I'm probably gonna have to. as we go south down the west side of Don Mills Road. An escaped shopping cart. Yuck. I'm not wearing waterproof shoes. Billy T says -5 in Toronto. It's not too bad as long as the wind doesn't kick up. Johnny, they're saving the ice at Weston Arena. Is that confirmed? If that is true, that is excellent. Doesn't make any sense to take away an ice rink that's been in the public domain since the 40s, that is fully booked without replacing it. Yes, it's on the news, says Marge. Well, good news. One of the very few things I agree with Integrity TO on. Thank you for letting me know. I'll look into that good story once I get back to where I'm going. Even Eric Lindros criticized the decision to close that ice rink. That was one where my dad and I think his brother played when they were growing up. Or played at. That runner chucked up a peace sign to me. Oh, I didn't even notice. Gotta love it when people do friendly shit like that. All right, we're on Overlea. Kind of following the path of the Ontario line. Transit Mobile Scooter says it was posted on the noon news on CFTO. Well, I spent my whole damn day ordering a phone. That's all I have to show for today. Guy was jogging to catch a bus he was easily gonna make. Leafs playing today on Prime, so you're watching it. There's the Valley Park Middle School. And there was a serial killer who lived in that building complex straight ahead, one whom the Toronto police kind of pretended wasn't a thing, even with a ton of evidence right under their nose. Eventually, he was caught. Very famous case. But who knows how many murders could have been prevented. I don't know, Jeanette. Maybe. If you watched my Stumble stream last night, you probably know what phone I bought. It does one feature that I've been dying where it does one thing I've been dying for phones to be able to do that no other phone can do. And it's been something I've been screaming from the rooftops for a phone manufacturer to build into their phones. And this one does it. Johnny, when will you come to Calgary? I cannot commit to that. Don't know. But the Ontario line is going to run through here, through the Don Valley, kind of diagonally. You can see where they're building the elevated supports over there. Well, why wouldn't they be elevated? We'll stop and look once I'm over the river. And thanks to all 300 of you so far for tuning in. Friendly reminder to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that fun stuff. My original plan was to go live this afternoon or in the morning. But I woke up at 7 and I wasn't quite feeling it, so I just premiered a video instead. I know last night I said I wasn't going to, but oh well. I do what I do. Trying to get a view without the cables in the way. How beautiful is that? That is the Don River. And those buildings line Eglinton up ahead. Dougie wants to build a convention center. That guy is spending so much money, yet he won't spend a dime on healthcare or education. Go figure. He wants everyone to be nice and dumb like him. Too much Jack Daniels last night. I think I had an adequate amount. Lisa says healthcare and education aren't profitable to real estate bros. I think it's also in his best interest to keep the general population as dumb as possible. Did I watch Rental Family? I fired it up. And then it didn't happen. I kind of felt like I only had about half an hour in me of watching. So I ended up just lying in bed watching some YouTube for a bit. But I gave it the old college try. All I had to do was press play. And a nice high bitrate 4K version. Look at this. What kind of sidewalk is this? That's true, not a bot, but he also ripped up perfectly good plans to draw up their own. And build that one and then take all the credit. So we just go watch Rental Family in the theaters and enjoyed it. Rip Scarborough RT. Well, the Line 2 extension apparently is going to take so much time that they've had time to build a busway that'll open up later this year, effectively replacing the RT. man, we are walking right into the sun. That car decided it was going to stop at the last second. I don't really think being on the other side of the road would do anything to get the sun out of my eyes. Are you gonna run the red light? Yes. Because why wouldn't you? Have I been using Line 5 much as a Midtowner? I used it today, but that was to make content that may or may not have involved Line 5. And I used it last week once, but I only used it for the sake of using it. I was going home and I wanted to see if Freedom Mobile was working on it yet, because it wasn't working when it first opened. So rather than take Line 1 home up to Eglinton, I took Line 1 home up to Cedarvale. And then I took the crosstown over to Eglinton. We are getting knee-deep into Thorncliffe Park. So that lady honked at that guy who was yielding to me. Yes, that guy, he just should have kept going and, you know, played Russian roulette with the pedestrian's life so you didn't have to slow down. And I waved that guy through, by the way, if you're thinking he was the jerk. No, he was not. It was that lady. I'm deep in car brain territory. There's an awful lot of people in this area, though, that are without car. Oh, I see a super chat. Let me just get across the street here. This is the worst kind of street crossing, when you cannot see because the sun is blinding you. Towards dinner, gotta go home, have a fab Monday. Johnny and pals, Jeanette Morales. Thank you so much, Jeanette. Cheers to you. Hopefully you get home a-okay. A little bit of art. Thank you, Jeanette. There's a mall across the street and a hospital, East York Town Center. It's a very odd mall. I've done a video through there. Thank you again, Jeanette. Nothing in that mall and it smells. I didn't notice the last part, but it's certainly a very odd mall. I think it serves the community well. It's got like a food court. It's a nice warm third place to go to. I think if you took it out of this neighborhood, the locals would be pretty gutted. And there's a Costco just here on the right. That's the former site of an old Coca-Cola plant. All right, I cannot see if I have a walk sign or not. I gotta look over my shoulder here and make sure no one's turning into me. Well, that sign says sidewalk closed ahead, so I guess we're gonna cross here. There's a giant mound of snow. Hey, Mike Landry. Good to see you, sir. Come on, city. We are so far removed from the big snowfalls. Someone's yelling at me from a car. Oh, they're waving. Hello. The people in that common auto. Johnny Strides, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. What's my channel? How dare they not know who I am? There's a Fit for Less, a Kumon, I think that's a learning center, Shoppers Drug Mart, Timmy's. Johnny Getting Love, thinking it was, I didn't know what it was. But I didn't want to stop while crossing the road. Steven says the big melt is coming. Rumor has it we might get a day up in the 20s this month. How great will it be for this neighborhood when an Ontario Line station opens right up here? This neighborhood is a popular landing spot for newcomers to Canada. And there used to be a racetrack just up ahead on the left. Who's Johnny Strides? I only know Johnny Stumbles. They're both idiots. There's that young Eglinton skyline again. Yeah, not a bot. Hopefully this station here triggers some better development. It's very car-centric, but it has a very high population that doesn't own a car. Just kind of how some communities get marginalized and cut off a little bit. Donkey says they're the king of the idiots. There's a 100 bus. Greetings, Bean Butt. No, I think that was just a YouTube issue that got resolved. When something is affecting everybody, I don't bother reaching out to YouTube support asking what's going on. I just assume a million other people have and let it get resolved. Only when something is specific to my channel do I ever do that. Yep, there used to be a bowling alley in that mall. Oh, hello. All right, a lot of eager people to be on screen. Well, if I ever need Afghan dry fruits, I know where to get them. B-Boys, the burger architects. Claire, hi all, nice sunny cold day. Greetings, Claire. Thank you so much for the super chat and the support. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to be making a left. We're going to be crossing the Don Valley for a second time. We should get a fantastic view of the city skyline. There's a 72 Pape bus. Lisa says that sun is bright. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm going to be turning away from it. Naughty bought Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie fund. I committed to watching that one in the theaters. Thank you, Naughty bought. Heard good things. Apparently Ken was a fan. I found it on Streamio, but there was not a copy to watch. I'm still going to do it the proper way anyways. It's going to be pretty crazy seeing the Ontario line flying overhead here. Hello to everyone out in Toronto from San Antonio. You love the weather we're having? It's an oven where you are right now. Just over a week ago, I was in an oven myself in Thailand. And I don't know what you're talking about. I much preferred that. This weather has dragged this winter on too long, and it's only the start of March. What year is the Ontario line coming? I think they're saying early 2030s. It should get built quicker than the crosstown. Oh God, I think I'm on the wrong side of the street. I don't think there's a crossing on this side, and I want to be on the other side. And I don't feel like playing Frogger with Millwood here. So we're gonna double cross. I'm gonna go backwards to go forwards. From sunny days in Bangkok and chill day in Toronto. I'm getting blind looking towards the sun here. It's a very long advanced green these people got. There we go. Give me that walk sign. No? Now they get an advance left? Do I have to press this frickin' button? How stupid is this? Hello, pedestrian. You are a third-class citizen in your own city. Yay, a walk sign. It's a miracle. Greetings, Trojan Elk Explorer. Ooh, it looks like there might be a nice view to be had straight ahead. I easily could have played Frogger and breaking traffic. Ooh, we crossing. They probably don't want people running up this thing. Let's see what kind of view I can get. Nice sidewalk. All right, let's negotiate this really spiffy sidewalk here. Yeah, I'm gonna walk on the very end of the bike lane. Just for a little bit here. That is not the best pedestrian friendly sidewalk, and the sidewalk was closed on the other side. Hey, here's someone who found their way to a bus stop over here. There's people enjoying the sunset over there. Behold, the sidewalk appears. This overpass has quite the history. We're going to get a pretty neat look at the Ontario line construction progress in a moment. Are we on Thorncliffe? We're on Millwood. skyline action. So they are building an overpass for the trains to run on. That's going to go right over the valley here. Get a milkshake at Donlands Diner. It was John Candy's favorite hangout spot. Yeah, John Candy grew up just south of here on Donlands. There's a theater there too he used to go to all the time. I did a video exploring his former neighborhood before. It's supposed to be 20 degrees on the 11th. Sounds like a good day for a bike ride. So it looks like they built a pedestrian bridge right there. All right, that's as cinematic as the stream gets. About to walk over the DVP, sometimes affectionately called the Don Valley parking lot. But first I gotta cross the Don River again. Young and Eglinton. Philly Disco. I'll have to go see myself what it's like. Sometimes I'll ride my bike to Thorncliffe Park and I'll hop on the trail from there. One more look. When it gets warm, I should stream from East York to downtown Toronto. I'm sure I'll do that at some point, warm or not warm. There's traffic on the DVP. A very scenic, fun drive when there's no traffic. Leo Chung says this view is great. Lorraine says that is beautiful. A nice view, looks like a good background image. Today is Dr. Seuss's birthday. Krista says evening rush hour is always worse than the morning. I think there's more reason for people to go into the city in the evenings. So there's just more cars on the road coming and going. That would be a pretty cool time lapse to just sit here and record the sun going down. See that bridge over there? Let's all eat green eggs and ham. Alright, I had a thought to take Dawnlands down, but maybe we'll just take Pape. I'll save Dawnlands for another one the next time we go this way. Hey, we had sunset views, and over there, look what we got. Hello, moon. I see you hanging out over the horizon over there. Cosborn. So we're still a ways from the next subway stop. I remember going in there when this gate was open. I'm going right down there. You can go all the way down to the Don Valley. Do not pass open doors. That's the Kiwanis Parkette. And we have the Arthur Dyson Parkette coming up. Couple of lions facing off, local traffic only, no construction traffic allowed. Some of the homes in this area were expropriated for Ontario line construction. Just looking if there's like a table or a bench or something in this park I could set my camera down on to pull out the battery pack I need. Can I balance it on one of these trash bins? I don't think so. All right. Do. So I gotta plug two things in here. Sorry for the momentary pause. Where are we going into here? Where's my... think it's over here. Oh, there it is, underneath. Gotta plug my phone in that way. There we go. Power connected. And this goes in this way. All right, we're going to be moving in a second. This took me way too long. If you were hiring someone to change a race car's tires in the pits, do not hire me. You will definitely regret that decision. Lisa prefers the audio when the mic is off. There's just enough wind ripping through though. It's not very good when that happens. On calm days, we will go mic-less, but on days where there's a bit of a gust, I prefer to keep the wind muff on. What do I think of renaming BMO Field? They have to. It's a contractual obligation just for the World Cup. Aren't they calling it like Toronto Stadium or something? Actually sounds like an improvement. I don't think my mic is all that muffled sounding. Let me hear it myself. I don't think my mic is all that muffled sounding. Let me hear it myself. How did it feel when Dundas became TMU? It felt like a colossal waste of resources and time. This is Minton Place. There's a lot of Ontario line construction going on. There's a lady standing out here. I wonder if she's watching. That Timu shit triggers you for... Like, in a perfect world, if the city wasn't facing any issues or budget shortfalls, and we could go around renaming stuff, sure, I guess. But like, holy crap, for someone to make that something they were going to devote so much time and energy and resources into is ridiculous, especially when there was nothing wrong with the name to begin with. All right, this is Pape Avenue. So, we're about to walk through Pape Village. Yeah, the Eglinton West to Cedarvale name is quite stupid in my opinion as well. I mean, who's getting confused with the other Eglinton? Thorncliffe Park. Thank you, Phuket Walk. All right, this is O'Connor. So we're about to head through some civilization for the first time in a while. Pape Village is kind of an underrated, neat little part of town, one that's been gutted by Ontario Line construction. I think Greektown has the most restaurants per square foot of any retail corridor in all of North America, and a big reason for that and for the emergence of Greektown was that Pape Village had prohibition in place for a very long time. So a lot of restaurants and bars and that sort of thing opened up on Danforth, which is just south of here, while this area was dry. And that area along Danforth blossomed into what is still one of the best places to get a bite in the city. It's kind of silly how prohibition always had the opposite effect as to what was intended, like in the Junction. It results in lower property values and higher crime. Because who would have thought people don't want to live near where they can't go get a drink at dinner? As I go south down the east side of Pape. Hi Johnny, where are you at now? We are just south of O'Connor on Pape Avenue. Still in East York. Eventually we'll be in Old Toronto. East York Community Rec Center. We had Blue Sundays back in the 60s. And wasn't it up until the 90s when retailers couldn't open on Sundays? How stupid was that? But a lot of big retailers would open anyways because the fines were so small. They would make enough money to cover it. So it was really just small retailers that got screwed. I remember supermarkets in my neighborhood that would occasionally open on Sundays when they weren't supposed to. There's a Food Basics. And there's going to be a gaping hole in Pape Village coming up on the right due to Ontario Line construction. There's a Burger King attached to the Food Basics, and there's a McDonald's just down here on the left. There's this little dude who got famous on TikTok for being super obnoxious. And I was filming or recording a street festival here last summer, and he jumped on my camera and started doing a bunch of stupid shit. And I saw in the news that that guy was arrested. And it was one of those what the hell took so long kind of moments. There's Cafe Serrano. Hey, Alicia Lewis, happy Monday from Liam, Vasily, and the rest of the crew. Thank you, Alicia Lewis. Cheers to you and Liam and Vasily and the rest of the crew. Look at that, Pape Village. Thank you again. There's a giant, it's like a smile missing 3 or 4 teeth. Giant hole in Pape Village. Epic Nation HD says you're not here. All right. Oh, you guys are in Niagara Falls. Enjoy. There's Cosburn and Pape. Stupid fucking driver on the right. Of course, they're in a Beamer. How about starting your turn once it's clear? Pardon my French. We'll just wait for these people on the bus. Bus driver was giving that guy a good laugh. Lisa says, never a dull moment. There's a bunch of people standing right there, but look at that art. Payday loan, check cashing. That's not predatory at all. This whole block over here, I think, was boarded up not too long ago. That variety store was in the news talking about the challenges they're facing from the construction. Zomi's Juicery. There's a lot of neat businesses in this neighborhood. Oh, there's pizza. Crystal says every time you send a chat, the stream lags. That's weird. Well, there's still a few more blocks of Pape Village left. Greetings, BG. You're going on your European trip next month. UK to France to Italy. 3 weeks there. Enjoy. I have never been to Italy, but I've been to the other two. I've heard certain parts of Italy are growing less fond of all the tourists these days. Could it be that you're on the subway? Maybe. That's me. Yeah, we're doing a live stream.
Oh, nice. My girlfriend follows you.
Do you want to be on the stream?
No.
All right. Cool. Well, tell her I said hi and thanks for watching. Cheers. He thought about it for a second. I was like, nah. Well, you already were on a stream, kind of. I always give people the courtesy of directly squaring the camera at them. There's a Greek restaurant. Jillian, greetings. I am nearing the south end of Pape Village. There's going to be like a diner, fish and chips kind of place coming up on the left. And a block or two after that, the former site of a KFC. At least it says good village, that Pape. It's not bad. A viewer once super chatted me a tall boy on a stream through here. Here's the everything store, variety, grocery, garden center. This is Mortimer. Centennial College is just over there. Some of these hoods are going to be more desirable with subway proximity. That is most certainly true. We'll see some intensification around those subway stops at least. But sometimes that comes with higher rent prices. And then some of the smaller independent shots get knocked out. I've always wondered what this place was like. Doesn't quite have that square boy reputation, but it's got that kind of vibe going on. King's Drive-In. Hey, if you guys know Charlie the Woodle, this is where he goes. I know that because I've picked him up from here once. It's only appropriate. I hear dogs barking as I walk by. Someone says that place had great fish and chips. Broadview French Montessori School. Goat Coffee. That site there used to be a KFC for a while. There's a cop in there. I wonder what he was getting called out to. Hanamaru Market in Bento, Japanese style. King's has shitty burger. This is Christos. There's a place near me, Burger Shack, that's pretty good. A lot of people are fond of Apache Burger in Etobicoke. I've only had it a few times. I only had Johnny's once on Shepherd East. I think that's Shepherd East in Victoria Park. Store Easy, convenience and grocery, laundromat. There's Serrano Bakery. That's a popular spot. All right, we're nearing the end of Pape Village and East York. Naughty Bot says Serrano is a gem. Believe it or not, the best burger you've had is Five Guys. I don't mind Five Guys. There's a Jersey Mike's opening at Yonge and Eglinton, right next to the Shake Shack. I wonder if Shake Shack had any pull on them coming to the neighborhood. And they're finally putting something in the Yonge Eglinton Center at Yonge and Orchard View. Oh, this is Selkirk. Oh. I waved that driver through. He waved at me. That's how it's supposed to work. When a driver makes eye contact with you, I have no problem waving them through. I also make sure there's no other pedestrians I'm waving them past, but it's those people that just kind of assume they're going. The best burgers are at Square Boy, followed by Shake Shack. I would say Alouette Go does both of those places in. Square Boy definitely for value. But Alouette Go might be my favorite burger in the city. Rudy is a pretty good chain as well. I'm quite spoiled at Yonge and Eglinton. We are almost at Pape Station. I believe that's a senior's residence right there. Haven't heard of them. Where are they? Are you talking about Alouette Go? There's one in Liberty Village. There's one just north of Yonge and Eglinton. Oh, we are close to Square Boy. I could go for some of that. There's the Calvary Church. $2.79. What's the best burger at Alouette Go? I have tried 3 of them and they're all fantastic. I would start small. I forget what it's called, their most basic one. But thank you for the super chat. I can pull up their app here. Let me go into my food and get a look at the menu. Oh, it's asking me to log in. Why are you asking me to log in? Ooh. Samsung Pass for the record. Our system detected the password you selected may be compromised. Ooh. I'll have to get back to you on that one. But my favorite thing to do there is get a burger and their wedge salad. RIP. The bus terminal at Pape Station. There's often a big crowd of people up here waiting. I mentioned about a month ago I was getting off at the station and Olivia Chow was just chilling. Just talking to some of the locals. I may have had Swiss Chalet to pick up, so I didn't really think to stop. That guy was turning left. I wonder why he was getting honked at. Maybe he wasn't indicating. Oh, you're going to Liberty Village in a week? Well, if you want to try Alouette Go, I think that one is still there. It's on like the inside part of one of the plazas. That place is excellent. Juicy Birds. It's been a while since I've had that. What's their special tonight? I am curious. Monday, slider combo, slider fries and a drink. I don't know, Gertej. That might be a sound guess. Next time, tell her to fix the snow removal shit show. Well, you'll need a time machine to go back and have John Tory sign a non-shitty contract. But yeah, I think a lot of people dropped the ball on that. Look at that sunset. But this is about all she wrote. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Mods, Patreon supporters, everyone who sent support, you guys are awesome. Channel members and everyone. I should have a video on the channel 9 a.m. EST tomorrow, unless I change my mind at the last moment. I'm gonna get my cold ass inside and get some grub. I might just go to Juicy Birds across the street over there. But thank you so much, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. Stay warm, stay safe, and as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Yoink. Bye.